flag and everything on it.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Best Podcast Ever, where three idiots you don't know talk about a hobby you've never heard of. Kevin, you are just the embodiment of Doug the dog from Up. Just before we started, you were...
Stop referencing movies I haven't seen and TV shows I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, actually.
How have neither of you seen Up?
I know the guy has a huge nose.
Yeah, and then everybody says how sad it is.
Is it because the house just kept going up and up and
I think that's
popped
it.
and it
Yeah.
fell back to her?
On him, and then he was very sad because he was dead. I think that's the BPE version. Now you don't need to see the real one.
Rosebud. All right, so we're actually back with all three of us, which means less people will view it. Mm-hmm. I am clearly the problem.
Yep.
I'm just recapping what you guys said last time, really.
I don't actually remember anything from the show except my beatboxing in the middle.
I think the cart indie split.
Oh, yeah.
Every reason that Jeff Bodine was not taken seriously. Jeffrey. What else? We switched back to Enduro.
That's right.
Apparently you guys have threatened, Scott Goodyear? Whoever it is?
Oh, yes, Scott, you're in for it, man. We see you French Storton at us.
The puffy-faced version of French.
I don't know. We never got Chip Ganasty's attention. I don't think we're going to get...
I've tried so hard, too.
Yeah, I put him in the tags in every episode he was in.
On pages relevant to even articles relevant to him, that whole thing with DC Solar and everything like that. I'm like, Chip Ganasty's fat. That's why it fell through.
It's good to be back. But yeah, no, we had another Enduro race tonight. As Mike calls them, broke Ninkos or whatever.
Super broken cart, I believe I called it.
I mean, they were as well maintained as any actual go-kart on any pier in New Jersey.
They were definitely the 50cc Mario Karts.
The racing was really close, though. It was a BTE finish.
And Kevin was able to shoot down the cheap blimp with his champagne bottle because he won. So, that's Super Mario Kart, kids. That's where the series began.
And I lost second to Mike by track sections.
Yeah,
so
Doing the motion from
the podium.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is an audio medium, and we constantly, mention what we're doing. In fact, right now we're running a marathon. Look at us go. We're going over the hurdles.
Hey, we won.
So you should donate to our marathon running by buying our merch.
That's true.
Insert the spinning Jaguar wheel of merch. Or Jaguar cube of merch.
Whoa! Now that I'm here, we're suddenly going to be putting things... This is never going to hear the light of day.
No, I'm like, it's figurative. We're not actually putting anything in this.
Yeah, we've
We're
learned
staring at our
folks.
logo and probably something to do with Scott Goodyear or Eddie Cheever Jr. and your Megatron.
Eddie Cheever Jr. the Eddie Cheever Sr. of being Eddie Cheever Jr.
Multiple.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, well, this is the part where Kevin gets to say whatever he wants because I'm going to be eating. You can't physically stop him by screaming over
We heard
him.
you liked Eddie Cheever.
They gave you two
We gave
lots
you
of
a
balls.
junior and a senior.
I actually feel you're right. I should have called out Eddie Cheever instead of Scott Goodyear because, because much like Jeff Bodine became Jeffrey Bodine, and Eddie Cheever suddenly became Eddie Cheever Jr. as though anybody knew who Eddie Cheever Sr. was. Like, I don't even think that's.
I always got so confused by it.
Yeah, it was just one fine day they started calling him that.
Like, you were around for so long, and it's like, were you different in F1? Like,
See his own son.
man. And then you wore those stupid glasses after you wrecked Earnhardt at Daytona in that IROC series.
Sponsored by Red Bull.
Oh, actually, one thing that I put in the group chat, the group chat is the podcast that only me, Kevin, and Mike get to see.
Just like this.
But in audio form.
Was the Goodyear that I put on the two spinning plinths and put in the group chat. That got zero response out of either.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll have to show you guys, but when I came back from...
I saw the Tycho
Yeah,
Lumina.
so when I came
That's
back
all
from
I
the
saw.
Bob Beer Super Bowl show, I took a 10-second video because we use those spinning things to show off certain cars, and I took a spinning thing, put it on top of another spinning thing, and then put an Earnhardt car on it, and I just had that in dead silence for 30 seconds.
That. I thought I said something back to
I didn't
that.
realize there were two. I didn't process it.
Yeah, it was a stack of them.
I thought we were talking about all the old people wearing generic NASCAR shirts and hats. Like, they're not a fan of any driver, but they like the sport. They just don't like it now.
Kind of like...
Yeah, wearing the
That's different, though. You actually
Pennzoil.
like that car.
That's true. Not necessarily this iteration of it, but this was the one I found a picture of to work for.
I mean,
Therefore you
I
are
like
now a fan.
the fact that Tyco made that all the cars.
No, that's not this. This is a Penske.
Yeah.
Well, it was a Shapa Penske.
Tyco did make a Shapa Penske of the one before this.
Why don't we just take a picture of the
89.
Shapa Penske Tyco and put that on a shirt?
That's something Brian keeps saying, and I keep not doing it.
Oh.
But he's right.
So pretty much all of my merch ideas that I've floated to Mike have been shot down, and instead of doing any of them that I've requested, he instead put up a shirt that I'm surprised wasn't in Com Sans NS, and did, make a BTE team shirt. Brian
Right.
shrieked into the
Yes.
abyss. Which, by the way, if any of you guys actually buy that shirt, I hate every last one of
I
you.
might buy that sometime soon and show up in it, like not tell you or anything. It doesn't tell you who
Yeah.
buys the stuff,
No.
right? Oh,
Well, no, but it
perfect.
tells him something was sold.
Yeah.
He'll know that a Brian Shriek shirt was sold.
I'll give it to that guy Andy to wear.
The cor-
His first race will come with that shirt on, and they'll come with, and Brian's gonna be like, "Fuck you, man, get out of here."
The correct name of the product, by the way, is BTT Best Teammate Trolling Shirt Ever.
I thought I had a good idea the other day. Like
How hard is it
the
to
Blood
get
Beach one?
like a blue shirt with a BT logo, like not in the superhero position? Because clearly we did that wrong the first time we did shirts.
You know what would be awesome as a BTE shirt? Like you put the image of a pocket on it. It's
There's no actual
not an actual
pocket.
pocket. It's just a picture of it. Even like a button and everything.
The lamest version of the tuxedo suit.
That'd be awesome. But the Blood Beach Audi R8, I thought that would be. We still have that image somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's the perfect T-shirt.
I'm actually surprised that the All Rise for the Frank and Lola didn't become a thing. Because we had
Yeah.
so many images of that
I totally forgot about
at
that.
multiple angles.
The car in green tonight could have been that.
Yeah.
Sitting up on its
It
brakes
was sitting
like
up on the
that.
brakes.
Yes, slot
Wow.
cars. So
Well,
Indy,
Frank and
car
Lola.
Indy split again, eh?
There were a couple of Skeletric Delaras on track tonight.
Yeah, what was left of them, yes.
Well, nowadays, Skeletrix only
against
comes
Frank
out with
Dam.
these absolutely generic things. Like, we were even making fun of the... What NASCAR was that?
The G-body.
Oh, yeah, the G-Body Monte Carlo.
Which they put all of their own logos on the side and then made up a tire logo, as opposed to just...
Instead of doing what Carrera did, where they had the decent decade, which I thought was pretty clever. It's the smartest thing Carrera's ever done.
Somewhere in our
Awkward
archive...
silence after Carrera and Smart.
Somewhere in our archive, there's part of a skit written by Mike where it was like, meanwhile, Carrera's idea of innovation is switch on the bottom of Carrera car. We're going the other way now. Like that goes down as one of the best Mike jokes. Anytime we're ragging on Carrera, it just all comes out.
I'll do a video of me just stepping on a Carrera like
It's been so
slowly.
long since I even touched a Carrera that all of that rage has shifted to Skeletric for me over the last 2 years, 3 years since we started trying to do that.
Or
Well-
NSR Shark 20s.
And Skeletrix has
Actually, no. Now that I've won a couple races with them, I don't mind them anymore. But it's fun to hammer them.
well, I've totally lost my train of thought.
Skeletric has
Generic.
Oh,
Skeletric.
Skeletrix has decided that they're going to get Carrera's success by copying all of the wrong things Carrera does. Like, all of their cars now are inline.
yeah.
They're not Sidewinder anymore. They decided they're going to be inline. They've decided their magnets are going to be weaker. Again, a Carrera-ism.
Right.
But
and the magnets are going to be directly under the axle.
they still haven't like put bronze bushings in them, which is something Carrera does do
Right,
for as
and
much as they get wrong.
They are
There's-
super loose, those cars, and geared down so heavy.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, over in Skeletrix land, where even they have given up to the fact where now their logo is gray and like white now. It used to be yellow and blue, so it would stand out, but now they're like, what's the logo equivalent of mauve? And how do I get it on my package?
And it's not like they printed the boxes in black and white. The boxes are still blue.
Well, the boxes were in 3-color, wasn't it? 3-color printing?
I'm sure it was 4-color before. I'm sure it was just 4-color process.
Yeah, it's 4-color process, so
paying for ink.
it's not like they're saving money by making their logo
I was
worse.
thinking you were going to say they were going to follow in Carrera's footsteps by buying out like a manufacturer's licensing, but like a really shitty one. Like, oh, Carrera, you bought out Ferrari.
Nobody can make scooters but us.
They bought out Noble.
We only make Minardis now, and Jordans.
Nobody but us will ever.
If it were us at 1-2 at Spa in the rain, we would have raced for the win.
Nobody but us will ever make a Galver again.
What up? Guess who got the official license for Bricklin? Like,
Only to be like sued by Ford for like saying, "Oh, that's our Windsor motor," or Cleveland. I think it was the Cleveland that was in that, the
I think
351.
it
That
was,
was the
yeah.
shit one.
somebody in
Yeah, so it was the
Manasquan, New
Cleveland.
Jersey has one of those.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know why you would ever keep a Bricklin in the saltiest place on earth.
Yeah, that's probably not a
I
good
have to
idea.
imagine there's not much left of that
Everyone
car.
called it a Pantera.
I don't think.
Sweet mongoose. Like,
I don't think the audience that's seeing it would even know
No,
what a
what either of
Pantera
those
was,
cars,
yeah.
any of those cars are. They just probably would imagine it's a DeLorean.
They'd be like, nice Corvette.
that's what happens whenever somebody drives down the street in a Sunbeam Tiger, because there's one of those in Scotch Plains,
Yeah.
and it's like a barn find, and he didn't restore it.
Okay.
So it's some
I've never
dude.
seen
Patina.
Yeah, it's not red. It's clearly primer.
Yeah.
That kind of primary red that they got going on.
All right, time for a break.
Get some more water. Nice. Look at it, buy it, look at it, buy it, buy it. Look at it, buy it, buy it, look at it, buy it, buy it. Look at it, buy it, buy it, look at it, buy it, buy it.
So I'm in the frozen food aisle.
So we were actually talking very heavily about slot cars for half a second, and the fact that now if you want to buy a Dr. Evil tuned car, you can buy those at New Jersey Nostalgia Hobby. New Jersey Nostalgia Hobby, they get free advertising space on Best Podcast Ever.
So as I was saying about the Riggins, you take the arm out and you put it in the Dremel, and all you gotta do is just kind of press on the if it's a little off, and you just keep checking it, and it straightens the shaft out because they're a little out of whack.
How do you straighten the shaft?
You have one end in the Dremel, and then you just press on the opposite end, and it like just lean into it a little bit, and you feel it kind of
Okay.
straighten itself out a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
It worked. As you saw in that race, that car was not the best handling, but it mowed down everyone in the straightaways.
I had something for
You had
that.
a great car in hand. Your car handled great, but it didn't have the motor.
It didn't have the motor and it didn't have the driver. The guy between the trigger and the track was very poor at what he was doing that night.
Still did pretty good.
I did okay. I got fourth.
Then you put the other end in, and you just sand the calm down, and holy shit, that made a huge difference, because there's, like, even with rough sandpaper, you can feel it as it spins.
Yeah.
And then you take the Dremel, you take the brushes, you take a Dremel wheel, like a grinder wheel that's just like a really tiny circle, and you just push the brushes right up against it, and it, instead of rigging brushes, seriously come with this. And
Yeah.
as they motion, imagine something flat running up against a circle.
Right.
You don't want that. You want the same shape.
I'm about to say you don't think we could run a rigging long enough to naturally make that shape in a calm before they crack?
Oh my god. So you just take them and you press them against the wheel, and it shapes them the same as the calm. Break it in for a half hour on low voltage. Boom.
Stock class.
I mean, if you really wanted to get technical, you take the shims out of the can. You let the armature center itself in the can, and then you move the shims to whatever end to keep it where it's
But
centered.
yeah, so at the end of the day, this is the pitfall of
Stock class.
of anything,
Yeah.
which is that all the gains are at the margins, and so the margins become increasingly absurd.
Oh, it gets better. Hold on. You know, those bushings in the back just kind of rattle around in the chassis. You take, your X-Acto, and you score the inside shoulder of the bushing,
to lock them in place.
and you do the same thing on the inside of the chassis. It barely takes anything, and all it does is it catches.
Okay, so now we know what you do personally to yours. So the race tune ones at NJ Hobby, what are
We'll
those?
get that. They're not going to get the motor work. They're not going to get that kind of motor work. But
Yeah.
they will get the gears. They will get the tires sanded. They will get the front tires super glued and all the other BS. So you will have a car that. Who knows the motor? That's the other thing. Like the motor I did that to for me, that could have been a good motor. It could have been a shit motor. Like, what if I did that to yours? It might be way better.
I'm about to say, I think if you do it to mine, actually, I think if I'm ever silly enough to hand you my car, I'll get...
Mine back.
Yeah, you'll take the motor out of yours and put it in my chassis.
I don't know why mine wasn't as good at handling. I mean, like with those, like there was a brand new chassis that was flat.
Yeah, with any stamped chassis though, there's naturally going to be those that aren't as good because they're stamping them one at a time and the blades wear out. Or...
I made sure the uprights were straight.
Yeah, that's a...
Like, yeah, because that's another thing. The rigging, like the rear bulkhead, I guess, if you will, like they were
there's
caved
a lot of deflection.
I've always been of the mind with a lot of these cars that weren't designed as hobby items, were designed as toys. If you got one that isn't good, you really have to start over.
Yeah, you just have to
TJ
chuck
chassis are the same way. Like, you could just get one that just handles
Or even
good.
Johnny
no matter what you
Lightnings,
do. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do to it. It just handles good.
Yeah.
And you can make it faster. You can make it slower. It's always they're just chassis like that, I guess.
Yeah, no,
They could weigh the same, be the same shape
Yeah.
and everything. It's just
a bit of black magic to it.
that's like NASCAR chassis were like that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why they named them.
007.
Yeah. Midnight.
and other.
And
I
other
know
than-
nothing about NASCAR.
Oh, the 007 was a chassis that got killed in the first nighttime, one hot night All-Star race by
That's right.
Kyle Petty.
That's
who
right.
had no fear that night, even though he finished second.
Davey Allison had never...
When was the last time Kyle
He
Petty
passed
like,
out.
He found out in the hospital and he won.
When was the last time Kyle Petty won a race?
Well, he hasn't
Pocono?
been in a race in a long time.
When was the last time Kyle Petty won a race? I know the last time the 40... Well, Amarolas doesn't count, but like the last time the... Ooh.
Yay, copyrighted music.
So what were we saying?
We were talking about Kyle Petty and the last time he won a race, and then we
Thank you.
Have a
thank
great
you.
night.
Thank you.
finished the conversation when we weren't recording due to copyrighted music.
Jeff Gordon missed a shift. I think it was that race. I have to look. Talk about something else in the meantime.
Talk about yourself.
Talk amongst yourselves. But yeah, no, because like there's a lot of NASCAR drivers that you look and you're like, oh, okay, like they drove forever.
Is he a
And
political figure?
That's what he looks like now.
That's his like first page picture.
Some fear.
we just used that one picture when we were doing pictures. We just had that one picture of
Oh.
Kyle Petty with the full mullet.
95 Dover, the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
That was the last
He won
time
8
he won.
times. I thought it was only like 4.
Wow, they were still
Serving.
doing 500 laps at Dover too.
He won just enough for his dad to look at him and say, "You'll never be me, ever, 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 ever."
You got the 12.5% of my win total. Good job.
Well, I mean,
No, we didn't. That's not how counting
That's
works.
not like Little Al either.
That's a weak thumbs up, Kyle.
That man's mustache is better.
and then there was another good Petty, but I hear he hit a wall at practice.
Yeah.
There was also the father, Adam.
The one
mean,
who
Lee-
disqualified Lee, who disqualified Richard on his first win.
Yeah, and also didn't win the first 500 until like 3 days later. Because photo finishing at an angle happened.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do about it.
Then they took it from Johnny Beauchamp.
Again, I watched NASCAR for like 1 year, way back in like 2005, 2006.
Which is
and-
around the time I stopped watching.
I can't remember, but like Adam Petty dying was stupid because as if they didn't learn their lesson with Kenny Irwin dying.
Dying in
you know,
exactly the same wreck,
the same
exactly the
kind
same
of
spot.
way that if your track is banking, maybe the wall should too.
Oh, that's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a second. A car going even like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Concrete wall.
Wall that's just effectively leaning in toward you.
Yeah, no, at that point it's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
I also remember on the History Channel back in the day, I was watching like the physics of car racing.
Yeah.
And they were going over why Hans devices exist.
Yeah.
And they had a quick section on the creation of it and all that. And they had a clip of what had to have been an
guy that
amateur
developed it
driver.
Yeah,
actually
he
died
just died this
too.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In a car accident, no less.
Really?
No.
No,
I didn't think
He
so.
didn't have his Hans device on while he had cancer or something.
The Hans device will not save you from cancer.
No, I don't
Good.
know. Well,
Goodbye, YouTube.
We couldn't give him CPR because he was wearing the Hans device. He wouldn't take it off.
But yeah, anyway, I was watching this this History Channel thing, and it had like this amateur guy in like an indie-looking car,
Yeah.
and
It's like a shopping cart with the wheels down.
but they showed like the accident, why you need to wear a Hans device. And it was clear this guy wasn't wearing it. I was like, wait, did you just show me a guy dying?
They just killed this guy.
They killed him to show like this is what you don't want to happen.
Gordon
Like,
Smiley would still be alive right now if he had the Hans device.
I don't think so. I'm gonna say no, actually.
well,
we
I'll
could
fight
put-
what
we could-
happened to him.
He'd be like one of those heads from Futurama.
So you remember when Derek Bell's head rolled out from under the table?
Yeah,
It was kind of like that. It was, yeah.
wasn't much left of him, huh?
The other weird track feature is at Charlotte how you come through the tri-oval and like the wall is almost like a straight angle.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it. There's a tri-oval and a tiny little short shoot. Why does the wall have to be that way? Isn't that how like Tony Roper died
I believe so.
in the truck race?
Was that Charlotte or Texas?
So this is something that you might know more of, Mike, because we have all these high-speed raceways with dubious architecture to them, which apparently takes lives. What about something like Monaco, where you're always within 4 feet of a wall just because Monaco? Like,
Yeah.
is there? I'm assuming there's constantly crashes, but are there ever fatalities? And you just can't get
I
fast
can't
enough.
think of.
No, they're not
last-
going as fast there. That's the thing. Though. Like, what's
Yeah.
the fastest you're going is down that back out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And you're coming into a chicane where no one really is, unless you launch over it somehow.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's died there.
No,
at least since
there have been
the
some bad
60s,
wrecks
yeah.
there. Rosberg's wreck there, he almost was bad. Leclerc lost the brakes going down there last year.
Yeah, that was
the
nasty.
back of the, I think it was Gasly's car.
Yeah.
He used his brakes.
Yeah,
Pretty
He
much.
stuffed it against the wall, between the wall and the Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think anyone's really died there in a long time.
Yeah, because like that's when I would do like the simulation games that I play and all that. The ones that always, the technical tracks that were really small, especially when the walls were right there. And then they're like, okay, you did okay during the time trial. Now we're going to put 16 other people on this track. Good luck, kid.
Well, it's pretty much wherever you would start at that track.
Is
Where
where
you're
gonna
about gonna finish.
Unless people drop out. I mean,
Unless it's that one 1982.
well, everyone was dropping
Oh,
out.
that was terrible.
There was the other one in, 97, 98, where Olivier Penny won because everybody dropped out. The only win ever for Ligier. I mean, for Pro, it was up. I think that was Prost by that time. No, I don't think they ever, I don't think they ever had a win as a team.
I mean, they have more points than BT will ever have in any sort of racing.
But we don't have any grid penalties. You change your Scholastic's engine again. 4-place grid penalty.
All right, folks,
the
I think
next
that's
6
a logical time to call it
Yeah,
at this
I would
point.
say
We've-
so.
It's also
We've-
like 10:45, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming back, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
And our one viewer. Thank you.